No, not that. I
You're
was like,
like,
what is this
no,
stuff?
not
All right,
that. That's funny. That's
uh,
no, not
I,
that.
be- I believe shots from the sideline. Med is going to be joining us as well. But I'm
Huh?
excited because as much fun as I had on, I had a blast, Bill, on Wednesday's show. We brought on the author of the history of fantasy football, and it was cool. But we didn't really get to deep dive into football, and we only had the one show last week, and so much stuff has happened.
Yeah.
I've been kind of excited about this all day. I hit the gym. It's been a long week at work, and we have some fun stuff for you guys. So here's what we got coming up. We're going to do our picks for week 10. We'll briefly talk Packers. We're only going to do them for a minute because that game sucked. We're going to give you guys our playoff predictions. And Bill did some extensive research here, so I'm very excited. I'm curious where the Packers fall, if they fall. I think they should, but we'll look at schedules for that. We're going to give you our top 5 power rankings, and we're going to give you – I got some fantasy rankings, just like players I'd start. The trade deadline's coming up. I got some players you should target, and we'll talk fantasy disappointments. So this is all coming up. And surprise, surprise, I believe, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe Med is going to join us as well.
Come on down.
I'm very excited. So, Bill, I got to ask briefly, what were your thoughts on that Packer-Lion game?
Man, it's two different teams. The Lions right now, I would have to say they're an elite team, and the Packers are a good team. I just don't. They're just not there though, defensively and offensively. The Lions they can run the ball, pass the ball. Their defense, they're getting pressure with their front four. I mean, they're a legitimate contender in the NFC. I would say them and maybe the Eagles, but so yeah. And we'll talk more about
the thing is, I think we might still be there with the Eagles. My concern is Saquon Barkley. I don't love their D. I think we have a slightly better defense than the Eagles. Yeah. But I think you nailed it, man. I think we're a good team, a very good team.
Yeah.
Might still be a top 5 team. But I think there's a pretty big league between the Lions and then the Chiefs and then the rest of the NFL. And I actually only think the Lions are the only team that could definitively take the Chiefs out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but they look like a much better team top to bottom. They look better than last year's 49ers.
Good point.
I agree with this comment. That's a good one.
Yep.
The head coach in Philly scares me, and I think we could actually take them out in the playoffs. I could see it. I really could.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what was surprise?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill, for being cool with it. So, Matt, if you want to tell your story, how you were supposed to be on a show, I don't know if you want to. I told Bill, I was like, well, he was supposed to go on a show, and then he was supposed to go to a hockey game, and he ended up doing neither. So.
Yeah. It happens. No, I just double booked, so it's really was my fault more than anything.
It happens, man.
How you doing, man?
Life gets busy.
Doing great, Bill. How you been, buddy?
Doing good too, man. Just keep plugging away. I'm shopping for a new car, getting all that stuff. So you know how that goes. So, but yep.
Yeah, we did that last weekend. That was a great. Me and Bill met up for. Man, that breakfast was legit, though, wasn't it?
That was good breakfast. That was, man.
We had this place called.
Did you discuss what Maserati he was thinking about getting?
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna get guys. So here's what I'm gonna go buy, and I've actually ridden in one of these. One of my buddies who's rich, his dad has 2 Lamborghinis. I got to ride in one of those suckers once, and he took me in it, and he sped on the freeway, and he went to 65, and I don't know much about cars, but it was very quickly. I was in the back of I was like this. I was like, oh man, it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, I still remember me and my dad years back when I was young. I was like 13 or 14. And he had this Corvette, and let me tell you, we were up north, and he just floored that baby, and I was just like, oh man, this is sweet. It was so smooth too, man. It was it was awesome. It was awesome.
Very cool. I like tossing some of this life stuff in to the shows. You have to. So Bill, you missed it. It was my favorite thing about Wednesday's show. We didn't get to talk football. It was my least favorite thing. But we got to talk about the history of when me and my dad started fantasy, and Matt got to bring some of his stuff with his dad in. It was really cool. So
that's awesome.
So I like that.
Awesome.
Okay. So I've got a question for you guys.
Uh-oh.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving memory that's not necessarily an NFL game? Was it like the food on Thanksgiving? Was it going and playing football? Because that was my favorite, other than the food. And now my wife's the fried turkey they make here is like deep fried turkey is just oh my gosh. But as a kid, it was playing football. What stands out for you guys for Thanksgiving?
Bill, you go first, bud.
All right. Well, when I used to live in Wisconsin, we would always go around Thanksgiving because deer hunting season was only a couple weeks. It was about 3 weeks for in Wisconsin. It was like, I think the week of Thanksgiving and then like 1 or 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, something like that, or anywhere. But we would always, we'd go out there in the snow and sit and post and freeze our, what's off. But it was fun though. I still remember one day we were out there. I was getting tired. And I didn't realize this. I was young at the time. I think I was like maybe 13, 14 years old. And I didn't know the dangers of like falling asleep outside in the cold. And so I started nodding off. But, my dad, obviously, being the concerned dad that he was, I started hearing footsteps and started coming over. And then I heard him and he said, "Bill, you weren't sleeping, were you?" And I'm like, "Oh, of course not." I'm like, "No, Dad, no." But anyway, I still remember that day very, very vividly. So it was a good memory.
I remember having one of my best football games on Thanksgiving in Arizona. I don't remember any from when I was a kid. I don't know why I don't. I remember there being like a massive spread of food once in Michigan, but I moved when I was 11. And I remember I always wanted to be an NFL running back or receiver.
Really?
Or really a safety. I had this dream as a kid. Then I gave up on it when I was a freshman. But I remember we went and played with kids in the park, and I had one of my best games. I threw like 4 touchdowns. I ran for 2, and I caught 1. And I remember against the kids in the park, and I just remember thinking I was like, the best player in the world.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
So that one stands out. Ned, what you got?
Actually, mine had nothing to do with football. I mean, Thanksgiving to me is like my favorite holiday. That and July 4th are my 2 favorite holidays because it's food, and in July 4th you blow stuff up. But the thing that I liked about Thanksgiving around my house is that I got to hang out with my family, and I was someone that moved away a lot when I was real young. I moved away when I was 12, so the only time I got to see my cousins and everything was when I was like, coming down for the holidays. So I got to go out there. We'd go out there and literally play soccer in the front yard. We'll just kick a ball around, and the goals were defense. And I mean, it was a really cool time because I got to see my family. And unfortunately, because of some of the stuff that has happened later on in life, I will never get that back. So those are my favorite memories as far as that goes.
I like this. Threw, ran, and caught. I did. We ran a double reverse, and I ran out and as a receiver, and they threw me one, and I caught it. It was pretty sweet. And it was tackle football. I was one of the bigger kids, but you know what? Wow. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My brother's for 4 years younger. It doesn't matter. It still happened. Matt, I like yours. Thanksgiving, man, is awesome. And now in Texas, I get a whole week off. So I'm flying to Arizona the Friday before, and I'm flying back on Black Friday. And I'm really, really hoping to do a show with you two and my dad during the week, and I'm going to try to make it happen. I think we're going to be able to pull it off, but I don't know the exact time yet. I'm figuring out plans with all my friends, and all my friends there are like family now, so we'll figure it out. So, Matt, here's what we got planned, okay? I didn't get to tell you all of it. I think I told you most of it on the phone. We're going to talk about the Bill Belichick coach thing, okay? I'm going to let you guys pick the order. I'm going to just pitch the ideas. If we have time for extra, cool. We got to do our picks.
Yeah.
Bill went into depth on his playoff predictions. We'll do AFC and NFC. Top 5 power rankings. And for fantasy, I think we should give people some really good sit starts this weekend. The trade deadline for a lot of fantasy leagues is coming up this Tuesday. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And what's your biggest, and I asked it on Twitter today, what's one of your biggest fantasy disappointments of the season? So those are some of my topics.
I have plenty on my fantasy team. So
how about Breece Hall?
It's been pretty disappointing too, but Patrick Mahomes is definitely on the top of my list right now.
Oh yeah. What about Anthony Richardson? That was one of the ones I posted. Tyreek Hill's burned me, but Tua's back, so he may rebound. But what about, while we're on it, what about Anthony Richardson? A lot of people drafted him like the quarterback 4 or 5. And not only did he get banged up, he got benched, and he was one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history. by a lot of metrics.
Mm.
They may go back to the guy, but I don't know, man.
Just to make it easy, Bill, you're the co-host of this show. You go before me on every one, bro. Humbly will watch you, hear what you have to say first.
Oh man, Bill Belichick, right?
Oh no, the fantasy one. Who's your biggest fantasy? But here's the thing: you're killing it in fantasy med. He's still alive, and every week, if you see it, they're still at like number 1 or 2 every week.
Yeah, I am right now. When I did my fantasy, and this is how I kind of looked at it, because I never did this elimination one ever. This is the first time I've ever done it.
Same,
and I said, okay. I was like, what do I need to be successful every week or have consistency?
Right.
So I went after running backs, because there's only a few elite running backs that will consistently produce each and every week, true number ones. So what did I get? I got the king himself right off the bat. And then I went receiver with my very second pick, because we did a snake. I was at number 11. So I had the 11th and then the 7th in the second round. And I got Amon St. Brown in the second round. Mm-hmm. So I got a number 1 wideout, number 1 running back right off the bat. And then I got lucky. I went wide receiver and picked up Cooper Kupp. And then my 4th pick, I got Joe Mixon. So I got my 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers. I got the middle part of the body right there. And
then you flipped Joe Mixon for who? You just traded him.
I traded him for who did I trade him for now? Let me go look at my thing again. Aaron Jones.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Just for yeah. So now I have Aaron Jones, and let me go to my.
Let me do all of our fantasy stuff now. I kind of like this, because this is a really important time for teams, for fantasy owners, because it's week 10. The playoffs are coming. You got to make your final decisions on trades coming up. If you're in a guillotine, you got to make, like you are, you got to make some important calls. I'm in a dynasty, and I was 0-5, and now I am 4-5, and it's my dad's 60th birthday today, and I play him this weekend. I might ruin his birthday and be 5-5. I've never come back from 0-5 to make the playoffs in almost 30 years of fantasy, so I'm excited.
So yeah, here's my team right now. My 2 quarterbacks are Sam Darnold and Jared Goff. Then of course I have Henry Jones, Cooper Kupp, St. Brown, Travis Kelce, Rico Dowdle. I don't know how you say his name. How do you say that?
I think it's Dowdle.
Yeah. Okay. Jordan Addison, my kicker, McPherson, Minnesota's defense. And on the bench, I have Eckler, Sutton, wide receiver, T. Higgins, and Baltimore's defense.
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty good. This week, I'm predicted to lose by 3, but we'll see. So I don't know.
I said that to you a few times, and you keep pulling it out. So I think you keep getting wins. So I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Med, what's one of your biggest fantasy disappointments? You said your whole team, but
the team that I have, and Seth won, my co-host on Shots, it is pretty much the whole team, because other than my receivers, I had Rashard White as one of my top
he's
picks.
Been a bust until recently.
Yeah, it's a PPR league, and so I figured, with how he lit it up last year with receptions and everything, I figured that he was going to be a really good pick at the 5th round. It just did not really work out for me, and I was also one of the few people that drafted Sam Laporta with their first pick.
Laporta.
And so he has just been straight doo-doo. Cole Kmet has actually been my backup and has outperformed him a whole time. Of course, as soon as I put Cole Kmet in the starting lineup, Laporta does.
I did too. And he was killing it. Now he's killing your team.
Now he's just killing me. So,
he's just killing your fantasy team. It's just the worst. It's like, I hate when that stuff happens, because you're like, what do I do? Nothing. You just don't play them. That's what you do. It's a bummer, man. It really
is. That's the thing about fantasy, man. It's like, okay, who do you put in, And it's sometimes a crapshoot, Sometimes you look at the match of who they're playing defensively and all that, and you can put in a guy who's going up against a weak defense, but he does worse than the guy who's going up against a stronger defense. I mean, it's crazy. It really is.
So I pitched the whole Tyreek Hill, Brees Hall, and Tyreek Hill, Brees Hall, and Anthony Richardson. He's right about Patrick Mahomes, although he wasn't great last year, but he's been so good in the playoffs and keeps winning Super Bowls that people draft him high. And I think Hopkins could transform that offense a little bit, but he's been a big letdown.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's flip it. What's a player that's been either a massive surprise on your team or before the trade deadline, somebody you'd want to target? I'll go last on this. Bill, is there any offenses you think will have a really good stretch run that people should target? And what's your biggest surprise on your team?
Oh man, one player.
No, it can be multiple. If your team's littered with them, you're doing great. So you picked up on you spent. So it's like we're in a game team league together, people. Me and Bill.
Yeah.
And he spent $100 of his money to go get Amon-Ra St. Brown. He hasn't actually been like one of the top two receivers. It's pretty much been Jamar Chase and who is it, Justin Jefferson. There's been two that have been like head and shoulders above everybody else, and the receiver play has been down. But he got St. Brown, and you've snagged some other good players.
Well, and like I was saying before, when I looked at this, because like I said, this is the first time I played an elimination. You know, you lose 1 week, lowest you're out kind of thing. I've never done this before. I've always done the regular where you lose, you just lose, and you play next week. No matter what your score was. But like I said, my strategy going into it, not knowing that it was going to be pretty effective, but I just wanted a solid receiving and running back, because quarterbacks, and not to say that, there are elite quarterbacks, but they're kind of a dime a dozen. Most of them, the point differential isn't a whole lot. I mean, if you look at it, 15, 16 points versus 20 points. I mean, yeah, sometimes they're going to get you 30 points and, that kind of thing. But for the most part, they're all pretty much in that same range. So I was like, okay, what do I go? And then kickers, you get a team that can't move the ball, only to get in field goal range kind of thing. So, but no, I like this. This is really cool for the first time playing it. I think I'll definitely do this more and more often. So,
and if you're interested, I'm going to do a dynasty next year, and I want to get Ned in it. I've already got one, and I'd like to start a second one with y'all.
Yeah,
and some of the podcasters in the world, and I'd like to get my dad in it. If y'all are game, I think it'd be fun. That'd be my last league. New one I'll start.
Explain the dynasty again. Is that where you get to keep your players and you got to draft them? Okay. See,
that was the one that we were going to have you in, and then it didn't work out. So if I do start another one, I'll let you know. But yeah, you keep them, and I've started 0-5, and trading the value is different because there's picks. So it's more like running an NFL team.
Interesting.
It's interesting. It's still fantasy football. You still win a Super Bowl, but then you keep a lot of your team going into the next year.
So it's kind of Kirk Cousins. Yeah. So it's kind of like you're the Packers and you got to manage your money, but not spend money and get help, but you got to hopefully draft and develop and all that kind of stuff. Or there's no money.
There's no money like the guillotine, but you have a 26-man roster with 2 IR spots. Actually, it was 28-man roster with 2 IR, 2 rookie spots. Next year, we're going to go 3 in the one I'm in with my dad. So everybody stays in the league, and for the same amount of money as a normal $100 league. But the way it works, you have 2, like I said, 2 IRs, 3 taxis. So those rookies, you don't have to play them, and they get to stay there as long as they're rookies. And then you have a defensive back. Like I actually picked up Evan Williams for a second. I actually have Nixon. He's been really good. But I have Antoine Winfield, who's one of the best in the league. He just was on IR for a minute. I have Fred Warner at linebacker. I have actually Dexter Lawrence I picked up. He's been one of the reasons I've been good for the Giants. I had DeForest Buckner, who I thought would be my starter, but it's been Dexter Lawrence, who's actually been really, I'd have to look up his stats, but he's been a top 10 defensive lineman. I think he's been up to like 7th on the season, which I wouldn't have expected. If they're a flex guy, like a defensive lineman linebacker like Micah Parsons, they can play both spots. But like receiver, there's been a lot of injuries on the defensive side. So I've had both my defensive lineman and my DB on IR, and I had to put them on IR when I had Hawkins on IR and Chubb. So I had to just have a couple guys on my bench doing nothing. The only mistake we made is we did 2 flexes. We might go to 1, and that's running back, receiver, tight end, a kicker, no overall defense because you have those positions. And then you have 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a quarterback.
Interesting.
So it's like a normal team, except you add those IDP guys and the other ones. And then every year you have a rookie and free agent draft if there's are players that people cut in the offseason of 6 rounds. And you can trade those picks for the next 5 years.
Wow. Interesting.
I traded a third for Hawkinson, and I'm hoping it pans. But I started 0-5. I've never done Dynasty, and now I'm up to 4-5. I have Baker, who's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league, even against the Chiefs with his best 2 receivers out, was balling. And I don't want to read the whole team, but I've gotten lucky recently. I had some guys that started slow, like Med's DeAndre Swift. He's been picking it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting. So it's kind of like Med said, you have to play kind of GM. You have to look for the now. You want to win now, but you also have to plan for the future too. So,
so if you listen to Dynasty, you're listening to it from a I've played redraft for, this is my 27th year. I've never done Dynasty, and I'm absolutely loving it, but I've been so cautious to trade because I want to hold on to a Jalen McMillan for the Bucks because I think Mike Evans is getting up there. Godwin's getting hurt. And Baker's balling in Tampa. I think there's a good chance this guy could be really good. I'm hoping. I also picked up the Giants rookie tight end who's starting to flash. Because of Med, I'm hoping it pans. I picked up Audric Estime for the Broncos. Hoping he's good.
Yeah.
So eventually, So yeah. So not just rookies. You need to balance winning now. Like I picked up Tyreek Hill, and he's been bad recently. But speaking of leading to my segue into my segment, the guy that, thanks for watching, dude.
Thanks, Dylan.
We do this every Friday. We're doing more fantasy than normal, but I think anybody on the Dolphins is a really good move, especially a Kane, if Tua stays healthy, because they don't have a lot of outdoor games in the cold. I mean, they go to Green Bay, but their schedule is favorable. And I could see a Kane being a really big plus for people down the stretch if he stays healthy. He's one guy I would look at. And he's what I like. But another offense I think that's going to surge down the stretch. I think the Jaguars are going to struggle. I think if Love stays healthy, I think people have slept on Jaden Reed. I think that if you could buy him low because they had a couple bad weeks, I think there's a chance he could continue to bust out. So that's my thought. Long-winded.
No, I agree. I think, and you also have to look into when you're drafting these players, again, being outdoors or an indoor, team big factors as far as, your productivity too. I mean, I hate to say it, but if like the Packers, the Bears, if you're going to take those players, you got to take in the elements into consideration, especially when it gets cold. That's going to be at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 games that the weather could be a factor in their production too. So now it helps defenses. So you might want to, consider, a Bears defense or Minnesota's defense, whatever in those, of course, Minnesota's indoors, but, one of those outdoor teams. So those are all things you got to take into consideration too. So
I agree. Matt, what are your thoughts?
For shocker?
Yeah.
Well, 2 players that I could think of right off the top of my head. I mean, the first I think of is Sam Darnold. I mean, that's in fantasy, so an actual game. Another one would be Jordan Mason, San Francisco running back out there in San Francisco. Well, San Francisco. So, I mean, he's been doing a really good job taking over for McCaffrey. And if you want a tight end as well, I'll go with some Brock Bowers, Las Vegas.
I like that. People didn't expect this. You know what? Did we expect Baker to be this good?
No.
Dude.
Did.
Really?
But I think he's number 2 at quarterback.
That's crazy.
Shit. I have him, man. I've started him over Jalen Hurts, and it's been right like every week but 1 or 2. He's been better than Hurts. Like we're 8, 9 games in. He's been better than him like every week but 2.
Well, last year when he first came into Tampa Bay, I mean, he basically went into the best situation he could go into. I mean, he has Mike Evans. He's got Chris Godwin on the outside. Cade Otto is really stepping up. In fact, the last couple of weeks, he's been winning me money on sleeper. Yeah, so I mean,
Bill's got his best bets. We're going to have to hear Med's moneymakers.
Yeah.
You want those? I break about even half the time, but Cade Otto definitely came through for me last week. And it was just a perfect situation for him. And I mean, I've always been a Baker fan to begin with because he has that chip on his shoulder, and I just like his moxie. I mean, he's a gamer. How bad does it feel for Cleveland that their team gave up on the guy, went and traded all them picks for a guy that,
we're talking fantasy too.
Yeah.
I agree, man. No, yeah, man. Seriously. You nailed it, dude. Seriously, the Bucks, that might actually be the offense I would check for because the Lions have so many mouths to feed. They have 2 running backs. I think Laporta, as good as he is, it's kind of like watching the 95-96 Bulls when you're like, oh, they have Tony Kukoc. He scored 17 points. I didn't even notice him because they're just so stacked with talent. They have to feed. Goff doesn't even need to throw the ball for that stupid team to win. They're so talented. They're so well coached on defense. They're so well coached on special teams. They lose Aiden Hutchinson. They don't even miss a beat. They've got Gibbs. They got Montgomery playing the best ball of his career. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. When Jameson Williams isn't being a dummy and getting suspended, you got him. And then you got Laporta. It's like, what? It's ridiculous. Johnson, I actually, so it's funny, Tip. I don't know if you heard me say it, but I stashed him in my dynasty, and look at him. I think he's gonna, like rookie receivers, they take a minute to get going, and they tend to play better through their first season as it goes. Like rookie quarterbacks hit a wall sometimes, but rookie receivers can improve over that second half of the season. And he's a guy I like for the Giants who have a really underrated group of playmakers. Even though they were dumb and let go of Saquon, Tracy Jr.'s good. Singletary's a backup is perfect. Malik Neighbors, man, if he can get over this concussion, is awesome. And then Theo Johnson, Daniel Jones. I heard this on the show today. Daniel Jones has more top 10 finishes in fantasy than Patrick Mahomes does right now.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's crazy, though.
That is crazy, though. Wow.
So I didn't mean to go so long with the fantasy, but this is fun. So
it's good.
All right. You know what? We went along with the fancy. Bill or Med? I know Med, you're a guest, but dude, we do a show together.
Yeah.
Want y'all to pick the next segment? We've got Bill Belichick. Where is he going to coach? We got to do our picks. We got playoff predictions, and we got our top 5 teams. And if you guys have any other segments, if we have time. So what do you guys want to do next?
Med, why don't you start with what do you think about the Belichick?
Okay. So what was the 4 teams that you said, Isaac? You talked about
Twitter. Okay, so on Twitter, the 4 that I pitched, and I could see some others. Jacksonville, Dallas, New York Giants, New York Jets.
So me and you talked a little bit briefly about this, and in my personal opinion, I think if there is a team that Bill Belichick would actually go to, he would actually go back to the New York Giants. He already was a defensive coordinator there when it was the Bill Parcells era. There's just too much ego in Dallas for Jerry Jones to really stomach that. Jacksonville just needs to find someone that can help develop Trevor Lawrence. He is your franchise. You need to go ahead and try to treat him like that. And as far as the Jets go, they're just a mess. That is not an attractive job to me because I think Aaron Rodgers will be retired after this season. You got Devontae Adams, who is also going to be 33 years old. You got some playmakers, you just don't have the quarterback. So I mean, if you go to the Giants, you possibly you do have Daniel Jones, and I think the coach there, DeBoll, he might keep his job, but if he doesn't, that'd be the spot for me.
I Googled it, so I'm cheating, but I've got another possible spot for you guys. What about Philadelphia? What if Nick Sirianni was gone?
No,
because
you go ahead, Bill.
No, I think Philadelphia. They're not great right now. What are their record is? What are they? 6-2. I mean, they're doing good. I don't think there's going to be any coaching change there. I agree with Med as far as the Giants goes. I'm kind of leaning if the right circumstance fits. I would say Dallas, and here's why I say Dallas. I know the whole arrogant and dealing with Jerry Jones and all that kind of stuff. If Jerry Jones can put his whatever aside for a little bit, kind of like what he did, and he swallowed his pride a little bit with hiring Jimmy Johnson. And what did Jimmy Johnson do? brought him some championships.
True.
If he could do that, I think Belichick could come in here and implement, the things that Belichick is known for and turn that Cowboys team around. I really think so. But is Jerry Jones going to do that? That's the big question. And I don't see it.
And, to kind of talk about that, I mean, you look at what happened when Bill Parcells went there. I mean,
Right.
Even Bill Parcells straight up told him, like, if you want me to cook the dinners, then you got to let the cook buy the groceries. I mean,
bingo.
It's just one of those things where, unfortunately, I think, as far as Dallas's financial situation, I mean, they're the most valuable team in the world, but other than that, that's it. And he, even though he might have made them, well, he didn't make them shit. Jimmy Johnson made them. But,
I was going to say,
yeah, that's true.
If there is anything that I could say that Jerry Jones has done, is he's kind of held that team down.
Yeah. I mean, he's the purse string. I mean, he's the money behind it, but when like I said, I keep going back to Jimmy Johnson, but I feel for the other coaches that, were Cowboy coach and now even, I think he's involved too much. You're the owner, you're a quote unquote America's team. I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Cowboys are America's team, but anyway,
be careful how y'all say that where y'all live.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Cowboys fans.
Yeah, Cowboys fans, exactly. But
if you're America's team, you're all about mediocrity, so you're not. I'll say it. I don't care. Come at me, Cowboys fans. This show isn't about you, really. It's just one topic.
Tune in for a little while and then you can leave. But no, I think Jerry Jones, as long as he's heading up things, the Cowboys aren't going to change, and the Cowboys aren't going to be a winning championship team until he retires and his son takes over or whatever. So, yeah,
I got one for Med. He's going to hate this. I think there's a good chance it could be Jacksonville. But what about the Bears? For real. Eberflus should be out. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a normal Packer guy and hate on the Bears, but even Med said this. Their coach isn't up to snuff. Their offensive line isn't either. They've got other pieces on their roster they need. The GM needs to work. But I don't think they've got the right coach. I just don't see that with this guy. Maybe he needs a little longer. I don't see it. Bill Belichick there would be highly interesting because that defense is starting to come into its own, and you have a young quarterback with young weapons to develop. I kind of like it. I actually more so see Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, a new stadium. That guy's going to want to spend some money. How about Bill Belichick with your new stadium and Trevor Lawrence? I actually could see that. And he's got some toys. Brian Thomas Jr. looks like an absolute stud to me. If Trevor Lawrence could ever figure out how to throw a football. Ever.
If it was the Bears,
Bears.
I would go over and try to get Ben Johnson from the Lions.
Yes, that's exactly what you need to do. We've had this discussion. They need an offensive-minded coach. That's me and Matt have talked about this at least a few times.
Yeah.
So no, man, I agree.
The Bears have the defense. It's just their offense is what's hurting them. I mean, if they had even an average offense, the Bears would be right up there. I mean. Yeah.
That's like I've lived this life for so long. That's like this is deja vu. I've heard this about 35 times in my life.
It is what it is. I mean, me personally, in my lifetime, and the one quarterback that I loved the most was actually Kyle Orton. So he won, and if I was the Chicago Bears, I would say bring in Ben Johnson. If I was Ben Johnson, I'd look at Dwayne Washington, who is our defensive coordinator, and I'd say, look, you're going to be my assistant head coach. You take care of the defense and everything that is the defense because you're doing an outstanding job. I'm going to focus on our quarterback, help build him up, and then also talk to our offensive coordinator and work with his play calling.
All right, we got Med. You want to do playoff predictions, power rankings, or picks?
I'm here for y'all. You tell me where to go, and I'm a good soldier, and I'll go right on in there in the trenches.
You want to quickly do our power rankings, top 5?
Go for it.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right, let's do it. So, people, we've got all of our picks for you. I've got some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Bill, I don't want to forget about our best bets. So if you've got them, if not, I'll give you some prep time and we'll take over a segment. But
Okay.
I got some Isaac's insights for you too.
Okay.
Oh, all right. So power rankings. This is interesting.
Yeah.
I gave my top 5. Are you all ready, or you want me to go?
You go first.
You can go. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So number 1, I'm trying to remember it. I actually put it on Twitter. I made a cool graphic. Oh, actually, I've got it on here. Hold on 1 second.
You got a graphic. Oh man, look at you getting fancy.
Yeah, I made it. I'm learning Canva. All right, so let me pull my graphic up so I don't misquote myself.
He's been coming a Canva Pro lately.
Yeah. Well, good. I put the Lions at 1, and here's why.
Okay.
I think they're the only team that could actually take out the Chiefs. I think if they played right now, they'd beat the Chiefs. And I actually definitively think that. I'm not saying that's going to be the case in the playoffs. Teams that peak early. And I do like the Hopkins addition for the Chiefs, but there's still something off. It's even though they're winning every game. There's a reason teams don't three-peat. I'm still going to have to see it to believe it. If they do it, good for them. It'll be historic. But this Lions team looks better than the 49ers last year. I'm not just saying because they beat Green Bay. I know they lost the Bucs. They've lost 1 game. But the Bucs are a tough team. They almost just beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And if they're fully healthy, the Bucs are a dark horse team that I like. But nah, man, this Lions team, top to bottom, going out and getting Zadarius Smith was genius. My number 2 team, this is controversial. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, now they're 7-3, but I had the Baltimore Ravens because I don't know if they beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, but I like the way they're playing right now with the Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And they also throw in a little Zay Flowers for you, throw in a couple tight ends, Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews finally coming on. I just worry about the back end of that defense. They've got the front. They got the front down. They've got a good defensive line. Roquan Smith is holding down that run.
Secondary.
If they could get that secondary going, they were the team other than Green Bay. I wanted to go out and get Marshawn Lattimore, and the Commanders did it in a win now move. Evening, sir. And I think right now, like at this moment, if they played this week, there's a solid chance the Ravens would win. I think there's a solid chance, even though I don't trust their D fully, that with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, they might actually be able to slay the Chiefs this one time. There's a reason Brady didn't win 12 Super Bowls. A team comes along and gets you. It just happens. I got the Chiefs at 3. I couldn't drop them any further. This team's just stupid. How many straight games have they won? Are they 16 now with the playoffs last year?
Man,
that is this already.
Yeah.
Even if they don't pull this off, in the context of NFL history, this has got to be one of the best runs we've ever seen to win back to back. And it wasn't dominant last year, but they won the Super Bowl. After losing Tyreek Hill, they retooled to make it a defensive-oriented team with a good running game and tight end around Mahomes, with excellent coaching in Spagnuolo, who's one of the best defensive coordinators ever.
Yep.
And they kept him with an all-time head coach in Andy Reid. And now they're on an 8-0 run in the 3rd stand. When does that happen? I want some, has that ever happened in NFL history? People watching, all 175 of you? Has that ever happened?
Well, I can only remember the Dolphins when they won 17. They had a perfect season. I don't know.
As dominant as they were.
But I mean, I don't know if that even compares, or it's close. But this is unprecedented. I mean,
it is. And if you go back to the 70s, 50 years ago, the level of competition, the level of play in the NFL wasn't what it is now. So to do this in this era now, I know people will be like, there's no defense, baloney. There still is. It just, the refs have diluted it some, the way the NFL wants the refs to do it.
The rules.
And I know the refs have helped the Chiefs out at times, but I don't want to hear rigged. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This has been absurd. Mahomes is, if he pulls this off, he's got to be on people's Mount Rushmore. So I had to put him 3. I was impressed with that.
Okay.
Number 4, I put it. My computer crapped out, but I put the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
My dad's calling.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm not answering it.
He's going to tell you why. How did you not put the Chiefs at 1?
Exactly.
I didn't put them at 1 because I think there's a good chance the actual Lions could beat them. I should have put them at 2, but I wanted to make it more fun instead of just going with the normal thought. I put the Buffalo Bills at 4. They're a team that I really like.
Okay.
The only reason I didn't list them on my fantasy offenses to look out for is because they play in Buffalo, and sometimes the weather is terrible in December and it's unplayable. Just run the ball. So I like the Bills. I like the Amari Cooper pickup was genius as he gets integrated. Keon Coleman's starting to come into his own. They still got James Cook. Your boy Ray Davis is looking good. That defense, if it gets healthy, is going to come into their own. They look like not quite a contender, but they look like a really good team that might go win 14 games. They have the AFC East already wrapped up. I don't know if they're actually better than last year, but they look a little more diverse. And I like that. And then I had the Philadelphia Eagles at 5, and I was torn between them and the Commanders and the Packers. That's where I was at 5. I don't think us losing to the Lions makes us a bad team. I think anybody would lose to the Lions right now. So there's my top 5. So I've got let me rethink it. I've got the Lions, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, Eagles. Mainly because of Saquon Barkley.
Okay. All right. Mine's a little bit different order. A lot of the same teams, but different order.
All right.
I'm sorry, until someone dethrones the Chiefs, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. I'm sorry, but your record as is, it is what it is. Yeah. They're undefeated. Until you beat them, they're number 1. So KC's it. Of course, then the Lions are right there, number 2. I think if there's a team that can beat KC, the Lions have the offensive firepower to keep up with them. That defense is getting pressure and wreaking havoc with 4, which you need against KC because you got to have back deep to help with the passing game. So Lions number 2, I think. Baltimore, I put number 3. They still have some issues, but whenever you have King Henry, you got a running game. It gets colder. Playing outdoors, that defense, I think that'll bode well, especially with a mobile quarterback too. And then you got Buffalo. I agree, number 4. I mean, Izac, same Buffalo 4. They're still a team to be reckoned with. And then I have a little different fit. I went with Washington instead of Philadelphia. I think Washington. I like what they're doing there.
The Lattimore trade was genius. They went on for Marshawn Lattimore, and that was exactly what they needed.
And I think the Commanders are kind of, you don't hear, I mean, you hear it, but they're kind of flying under the radar a little bit. And that's scary when you have a team that's playing pretty well and they're not, a whole lot of pressure because, they're not in the limelight as much. I think that's going to be work well for them.
I agree. I like it. That was good. Matt, what's yours?
So I see my face is getting choppy, but
your internet hates you right now for some reason.
Mine is very similar as Bill because I simply believe that until they're beaten, they're still number 1. So I'm going with the Chiefs. They are low key still getting some very quality pieces for very little price. It's kind of sickening because it kind of reminds me when Bill Belichick got Corey Dillon for a 4th round pick and he got Randy Moss for a 4th round pick. I mean, this is what it's starting to feel like a little bit with me, but I have the Chiefs number 1. I got the Lions number 2. I mean, it just doesn't seem like I know Bijan Robinson said on Dan Patrick's show the other day that he thinks the Atlanta Falcons are the best team in the NFC, and it's not close. Their defense, I mean, one of the guys that you were talking about, Aiden Hutchinson, got hurt. They brought in Zadarius Smith in a trade. So, I mean, and they got him for 2 more years after this. So when Aiden Hutchinson is going to be healthy, they're going to have Zadarius Smith on the other side to pair up with a Woozy. Then you got the Baltimore Ravens who it's Derrick Henry. He looks like he could do another 2K season. Lamar Jackson staring down the barrel of a 3rd MVP. The defense is starting to finally come together. They're as solid as it can be. I think they could potentially I'm not completely on their horse yet because last year was supposed to be the year that they dethroned Patrick Mahomes, but it didn't.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Bills with the fourth one. Josh Allen also is having an MVP season, and like you said, Ray Davis is starting to really pick up. The trade for Amari Cooper is just phenomenal. He'll be able to actually lead that young receiving core. And my fifth pick is I like the Commanders pick. I like the Eagles pick, but I'm actually going with Atlanta Falcons on this one because
the Atlanta Falcons making a top 5. I haven't seen them quite that high, but all right.
So you look at what they were able to do. Darnell Mooney is when he was with the Bears, and he of course dropped that one pass from Cleveland, kind of spelled the end of him.
Yes, at least in Chicago.
Yeah, I know it's Chicago. He has developed very good chemistry with Kirk Cousins, and now Drake London is really starting to catch up. Like he's going to get you 6, possibly 6 catches, 75 yards, and it feels like a touchdown every game in the last few weeks. You got a great running back combination with Bijan Robinson and Algier in the backfield. The offensive line is low-key underrated. The defense is actually pretty solid as well. And with the trade that they had at the beginning of the season with Matthew Judon, he hasn't really done it, and they still have some issues with their pass rush. But I think that they could possibly surprise you later on this year. So that's my thought.
They don't get to the passer. Like the Packers decided to go trade Preston Smith away, and that was kind of a weakness, but they collectively scheme it up. The Falcons don't. That's my biggest concern with them. But that offense was starting to look solid. I like it, dude. Good take. Yeah. Okay, if you guys are game for it, here's what I want to do. I want to do our playoff. I'd like to do some MVP stuff, but we got picks to do too, so I don't want to overload it. Let's do our playoff predictions, and let's go in. Let's do the NFC. And we'll do the NFC, then we'll do the AFC since we're all NFC guys. Okay. Let's do the NFC, and we'll go around and we'll give our number 1 seed. Then we'll do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we can say the couple teams that got eliminated.
Just spit it out, unless if we all are in agreement, not really discuss it, or because I know y'all are on the.
I'm game for that. If it's like universal, who do you guys think is the number 1 seed in the NFC? Is it the Detroit Lions or is it somebody else?
I have Lions.
I have the Lions.
I have the Lions too. I just think I do think they're going to lose a divisional game.
Yeah,
but they might go 15-2. Seriously.
I did the record prediction. I'm predicting them to go 14-3.
And that would require 2 more losses as good as they look.
Yep.
14-3 is going to get it because I don't think Washington's going to go 8-0. Or the Falcons would have to go 8-0 to challenge that.
I have Washington going 13-4.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to live in a world where the Washington Commanders could win 13 games. Yeah. When did that happen? 1990? Like seriously, when was the last time that happened?
I mean, they got Dallas. I have them beating Dallas. The Titans beating the Titans.
I was going to say it's fourth.
See, they're already at 9 wins right there.
And they have the Saints. I have them beating the Saints.
Probably.
I have them. They split with Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think they split. I could see that. So 11.
And then they beat the Falcons.
See, that's one where they could lose, but it's still 11 wins.
Right. And then I have them losing against Pittsburgh and losing against Philadelphia once.
I think minimum they get to 11 wins based on that schedule you just read.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So who's number 2 though? Is Washington number 2, or do you guys think Atlanta gets the number 2 seed or somebody else?
Number 2, Washington. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. Let me look at Atlanta's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, except for
Tampa,
and they've already swept them.
I have Atlanta making 11-6.
That's interesting. So Atlanta's schedule, they are 6-3,
right.
And they've got the Saints.
That's a win.
They win in that. They're 7-3. They go to Denver. That's interesting.
A loss. That's a loss.
That's a loss too. So 7-4. They played the Chargers in Atlanta.
That's a win.
Yeah, the East Coast thing.
That could be tough, but we'll give it to them. 8-3. They go to Minnesota. Is that a win?
That's a loss.
I think I think
play
Kirk
their
Change is going to dance all over many.
dude. Yeah, they do get to 11 wins at least because they play the Raiders, Giants, and Panthers. Wow, the Falcons are going to get 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The
Yep.
Cards are a weird team. That's not a completely crazy statement because I mean the Cardinals they've had some good
Arizona.
wins. I still think they're a year away kind of team, but they've gotten some good wins. I don't know what to make of them. They're a weird team. I can't figure them out. Seriously.
I have Arizona at 10-7. And winning that division
before the season. Okay, so let's go in order. So we've got Detroit, Washington, and I think we've all got Atlanta as a 3 seed.
Yep.
Okay. Who wins the NFC West? Is it the Cardinals? Is it the Rams? Is it the 49ers? I don't think it's the Seahawks, but
no.
Which one of those teams?
Arizona.
I'm going with the Rams.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with the 49ers. They get CMC back. Isn't that crazy that we all picked a different team? I can't go with Seattle. I think Seattle's the only team that's cooked. But I see a 3-team race in that division.
Well,
I like the Rams. They're a good pick. And so are the Cardinals, actually.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is the Seattle Seahawks have the Geno Smith factor. So I mean, he's not him.
No.
The only thing I'm worried about with San Francisco is their injuries right now. I mean, basically, it's like Saving Private Ryan when they're storming Normandy Beach. Everyone's just laid out. It's just unreal. And with the Cardinals, I like that.
Yeah,
because they're really coming around.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also, if you call it the Geno Smith factor, you gotta call it the Kyler Murray factor as well. Because
that's true.
As soon as Call of Duty comes out, this dude just goes into a shell. I mean, there's a written clause in his contract that said he has to read a certain amount of pages on his playbook on his tablet per week after Call of Duty came out. So, I mean, there's that. The only reason why I like the Rams is you look at them. They're
I do too.
Cooper Kupp looked really good the other week. Got Puka back. I mean, they're
Kobe Turner.
Back. Yeah,
for the pass rush. That pass rush is starting to come alive.
Yeah.
It's just a question mark if they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Can Tua stay healthy? He plays like Deebo Samuel. He plays so violently that he gets himself hurt frequently. He just played such a violent brand of football that he's setting himself up for injuries. But I agree. So we've all got a different NFC West team. So that's the top 4 seeds.
Right.
Okay. So right now the wild cards would be Minnesota, Philly, and Green Bay.
Yep.
Who gets the 5 seed? Is it Minnesota? Is it Philadelphia? Is it Green Bay? Is it a different team? Who do you guys have at the 5?
Go, Med.
I think it's going to be the Eagles because, I mean, they got to play the Cowboys and the Giants again, I believe. I mean, that's honestly just it. I think what's happening with the NFC North, I didn't really think it'd be this quickly, but it's starting to become a bloodbath already. And you got 4 teams that are all 500 or more, and it's going to be one of those deals where they're just going to beat the crap out of each other. So there's going to be a couple losses in there, and the Eagles will be able to actually go up as far as the win total goes.
I agree with that. I'm picking Minnesota at the 5 position, finished with a 12-5 record. Philadelphia, ironically, also finishes with a 12-5 record, but because of tiebreaker, Philadelphia falls to number 6.
Oh, okay.
I think the Packers are making the playoffs, but I think it's as a 6 seed, but I think they're going to win like 11 games. I can't go Minnesota. I think that people are going to solve this Darnold problem. And I know they went out and got another left tackle, but if you get pressure on him, it's a different game. I think Philly is going to challenge Washington for the NFC East, but they're going to fall just short. They'll be the number 5 seed. They'll have the best record of all the wild card teams, probably 12-5. I got the Packers right behind them. I was just looking at their schedule. This work computer is crapping out on me. It like keeps dying. But here's the Packers schedule. They got the Bears, the 49ers. I think that there's a good chance they actually win both of those. They have the Dolphins. I think there's a good chance they win that game too. It's in Green Bay. If it was in Miami, but even if they win 2-1 in those 3, but if they go 3-0, that's 9-3. They go to Detroit, probably lose, but maybe they split again. But even if they lose, that's 9-4. They go to Seattle. That's going to be tough, but I think they can win that one. That's 10-4. They go to the Saints. I think they win that one. That's 11-4. And then they've got the Vikings and Bears. There's a good chance they're going to win 11 or 12 games.
Yeah, I have them 11-6 at the
I put the
7th.
Packers as a 6, and I don't think it's a homer pick. I think that's fairly realistic. I think they'll lose
Mhm.
one or two. I don't expect, but I think they're going to win most of those games. So I've got them as a 6 seed. So we'll go snake order. Bill, did you have the? So you had Minnesota. You think Philly or Green Bay or somebody else in that 6 spot?
The 6th spot, I have Philly. I have them at 12-5, and I have the 7th at 11-6. I'll tell you who when we get to the 7th pick who that is. But
that's crazy that the 7th seed is going to have 11 wins. That shows you how good the NFC is compared to the AFC this year.
Yeah.
Ned, who's your next wild card?
I'm actually going with the Packers. I
Okay.
think that y'all are going to basically, like you said, there's going to be a few games that y'all win, and I think Cinderella's pumpkin is about to actually her carriage is about to come up into a pumpkin up in Minneapolis.
All right, we'll go Med, why don't you finish this off? Who's going to be the 7th seed?
That I think is going to be the Vikings. And that's why I think that they will be actually going into in Bill's case, the Washington Red Commanders.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be the game that you actually see, and we'll see what happens.
Like that, Bill. Who you got?
I got our Packers at the 7th spot. Like you said, Med said it's competitive. I mean, this is going to be. We want to keep this, and when playoffs start, I want to see how well we did on these. This is going to be intriguing to see. But I mean, because all those can be interchangeable. I mean, it could be Philadelphia 7-5, Minnesota. I mean, it's.
This is tough.
Yeah. But
it really is.
I think the Packers will be 11-6. That's what I predict. Then they'll be 11-6.
I'm going to shock you guys. I got a new team.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be the Vikings. I had Philly and then Green Bay.
Okay.
How about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Interesting. Okay.
They're 2 games back.
Right.
But I think the Vikings are going to fall apart. I like that Bucs offense. I'm looking at their schedule. They got some ducks. They got the Saints. They got the Panthers. They got the Cowboys. That's 3 wins. If they can, they've got the Raiders. They've got the Panthers and the Giants. They only played 2 teams with a winning record down the stretch. They could win. I know they're 4-5, but they could win the majority of those to go 10-7 or 11-6 and make the playoffs.
Yeah,
they really could. I'm picking the Bucs to be the 7th seed.
Wow.
I like them anyways. If they can just get a little healthier, I think they're going to pull it off.
That's it.
We're 58 minutes in and we haven't even talked picks yet. I think we should just do a couple of the big ones and Zoom so that we're not here all night. But I actually really like tonight's show. I'm having a lot of fun with this. So we did a totally different format because the Packers aren't playing. Before we do it, last little thing I want to slip in. Was there a trade deadline deal that you guys think that you either, well, I mean, I can give you one I hated. For the Cowboys, I think trading for Jonathan Mingo, a 4th round, is pretty laughable. There's some memes on that were gold. They're like, Jerry, trade for a receiver. He's like, Jonathan Mingo? It's like, no.
Got it. I know which one you're talking about. I thought that was
I was at work. I just busted out laughing in a class when I saw it. It was pretty funny. But what was your favorite, let's just make this easy. What was your favorite trade deadline deal? I can pull a few up if you need them.
No, I already know what it is.
Go ahead, man. Start it.
So mine is actually this is Zadarius Smith would go into Detroit because
that's a good one too.
Said that to build up your pass defense, you gotta have a good pass rush, and they lost their best pass rusher. They went out and got another one, and then, like I said earlier in the show, this is a guy that they will have for the next couple of years. So. Zadarius Smith for me with a close second being Lattimore.
I like the Lattimore one. That's good.
Yeah.
And I goofed. We got to do the AFC too. We'll do that. Maybe we'll do that after our picks. We'll do the AFC. Bill, you wrote down the AFC, right?
Yeah, I got the AFC ready. Yeah.
We'll do it in a minute. Okay,
that's
so
fine.
what was yours, Bill? Did you like the Packer move of Smith? Were you upset?
You know what? Smith, his production has been going down, so I don't really have any feelings that way. I think it's fine. My frustration with the Packers is we don't do anything. Again, we got rid of Smith.
Yes.
What did we get? A second rounder for him? Or
7.
what? A seventh. A seventh.
It was a salary dump because he's going to get really expensive after next season.
I get it, but Packers, dude, they suck when it comes to free agency, man. They suck.
We needed to make a move to acquire a player, but while we are not in salary cap hell, and I know Jordan Love's extension is going to kick in, but we have a lot of money next year. This was the time, and we have a lot of draft picks. Our cupboard is full. I know we have talent galore, but we have a weakness at corner. We have a weakness on defensive line. We even could have upgraded at one of the outside linebacker positions. This would have been the time to go get a player, but they think that you saw the comment. They think that we're like just the best team in the world at drafting, and we're really good at it.
Yes.
But we should have been aggressive here. Don't pull like Jerry Jones and go flip a fourth for Jonathan Mingo, who isn't even playing. But there were players out there. The Giants pass rusher, Med would know him better than me. The one that everybody said was available. We could have flipped. Yes. There we go.
Why didn't we? Dude, that's my whole point. We have we got some good players already, Quay, but we can get an impact player, but we don't go out and spend the money to do it. I just don't understand.
Can you imagine our defense, the Packer defense? Med knows because his team decided to go out and get Chase Young last year. Look at the transformation of that defense afterwards. The Ravens went out and got Roquan Smith. Look at that Ravens defense after. The 49ers went out and traded for McCaffrey midseason. Look at that team now. I know that they don't have them this year, but look at them last year and the year before. Can you imagine our defense with another impact corner because we can't keep them healthy, or an impact defensive tackle next to Kenny Clark?
Who was it? Was it Myles Garrett that was a free agent, or who was that?
No,
Cleveland guy.
Okay, here's the thing. Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, in my opinion, I don't think those teams were going to trade them. No. I just don't. Okay. But there were other guys that were really good that are available.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I don't met things, but that's my thought.
Yeah.
I just think we could have done it. We never do it. It pisses me off. Even bad owners make swings every once in a while. We never do it.
Well, I mean, you look at what the Packers' MO was, and I really want to know who Facebook user is. If you could just type
in. Chelsea. I think it's Chelsea.
Well, Chelsea is killing it on the
comments. There's a privacy setting that people have, and I don't think it's intentional. But they can't see it otherwise. It sucks because then it doesn't let me throw it up.
Just give us a thumbs up if you guessed right. But I mean, Montez Sweat was the guy that we actually went for, and a lot of people gave it
Montez Sweat. It was Montez Sweat. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Chase Young went to the 49ers, but I was always more of a Montez Sweat person anyway because he was faster off the line. But as far as like the Packers' MO has always been draft. They've always been good with the draft. I'd never really seen them do much mistakes as far as a free agency goes. I've seen some mistakes in the draft, but y'all's record has shown. I mean, shit, y'all are usually at the top of the division every single year.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I've been sitting here holding up the floor the whole time. I mean,
it's Jason.
Hey, Jason. Okay.
Your name not on here.
Yeah.
That's super weird. So he said Preston Smith asked for a trade because he didn't like playing the 4-3 anymore. He did. He did ask for a trade.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
okay. So here's was his then. So now I know who it was because I was waiting. He said, "Good evening, Cardinals." I agree. He said Eagles at 5, Packers at 6, 49ers at 7. Good picks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Thanks, man. I don't know why it's doing this. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe they changed the privacy thing. I don't know. All right. Well, we do not have time to go through all 15 games, so let's buzz through some quick ones. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're going to all take the Bears to take the Patriots.
Yes.
In honor of Mets.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. Yeah. Go Bears.
What do you think, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all taking the Bears.
Yep.
We'll go through the locks quick. I'm going Falcons over Saints. I know they have a coaching change. They're on the road.
Yes.
But I'm not picking the stupid Saints. I'm not doing it.
No.
Okay. So we're going Chicago. We're all going New Orleans.
Yep.
You know what's funny is the Broncos are a tough team, but I'm picking the Chiefs again. They're going to go 9-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another lock.
Same.
I'm going Vikings to beat the Jags, even though they like to make things interesting. But
Yep.
I think the Vikings figured that one out. What do you think, Matt? Do you agree?
The Vikings and the Jags.
It's Minnesota in Jacksonville, I believe.
It's in Jacksonville.
And Trevor Lawrence is out. So
yeah, this is a wrap. They're 7-point favorites.
Yeah.
Vikings. We're picking the Packers on a bye week, Bill.
Yes, Packers win by 10.
I think the Eagles have got to be a lock. I know Cooper Rush has played solid, but Lamb's banged up too. I think Philly wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will actually be honest. I wouldn't be just to rewind
I know.
for 1 second. Denver, I think, can beat Kansas City this week.
Yeah. There's a possibility
one because their D is good enough. And I think the Chiefs, if they're going to lose one, are going to lose one in the division. But damn, would you pick them to win, Matt?
What's the spread?
7.5 on the Chiefs. I think the Broncos could cover that spread.
I think they're going to cover the spread, and I could actually see them etching it out.
Wow.
Okay, so let me throw some stats. The defense, the Chiefs are only 5th in yards.
Decent.
Do you want to split on that one?
Damn, man. The Broncos actually get after the passer, too.
Okay.
2nd in sacks, but their offense is not good.
Offense.
Amazing.
23rd overall,
right.
26 in yards. They just don't move the ball. How are they going to score enough points?
Right.
Man, I don't know. The Ravens just destroyed them.
Yeah.
Bill, you want to go Broncos?
No,
I mean, not really.
Not really, but I mean,
no, please. Go Chiefs.
But you know what? I like Med's point because I do think they're not going to go 17-0.
No,
it's not going to happen. They did lose to the Raiders, so they did lose a divisional game last year, and this Bronco D is real. But it's in KC.
If it was in Denver, I would definitely say yes, but it's in KC. I didn't.
I feel like they lost that game actually on Christmas to the Raiders, but it was in Arrowhead.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, because I remember Joe was super excited about it.
Oh.
And I think they're going to be pissed off after getting clowned. You know what, Bill? I will take Denver.
You're going to take Okay. Interesting. All right.
He's going to be wrong, and I'm going to let him know that next week.
Well, at the same time, last time you didn't listen to any of my picks, and they were all right. So
that's why I'm listening to your picks, because it's like the wife when she tells me something, and I'm like, no, and then I'm like, oh, you were right. Damn,
you were right. Yep.
I feel like I'm on Twitter all of a sudden. What does he know?
Oh, hey, look at this one. He just for you. He picked the Pats.
Thanks, dude.
Oh. Wow.
My computer crapped up. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I got him up on the other one. It's okay.
Okay, I can read them off if you need.
No, give me 1 second. All of them
up.
Okay. See if there's any other locks. I think that the
locks.
I think that the Chargers are going to beat the Titans.
But is that a lock though?
I would say
they're 7.5 point favorites. I think it is. I think
really? Okay. I mean, that's what I'm picking the Chargers too, but I don't know if it was a lock.
I think they're going to get to 9 or 10 wins, and how they're going to do that is they're going to keep beating up on bad teams like the Titans.
I mean, they're on my eliminator at work, so
I
really? Yeah. Chargers this week.
Okay, so we've got I went Denver, you went KC, Bill, but otherwise, here's the funny thing. I do think Dallas will be stupid and make it close against Philly, maybe, but they're so bad this year, I could see Philly just clowning them.
Yeah.
So Dallas just tends to rise to the occasion when nobody expects anything of them. But and Cooper Rush played good last year, but I just don't see it with this Cowboys team. They suck. So
Mr. Overrated is out for the next couple weeks, and
he's on IR.
Yes.
Oh, is he? Okay.
And they're getting clowned on TV too.
So Dak is out for a while. Okay. Yeah.
4 games, right, Matt?
Yes.
Oh, so yeah.
I got the Bills as a lock. I think they're going to beat up on the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in Indy.
I got that too. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Damn, there's some good ones now.
We got Giants at Carolina, Niners at Tampa.
That one's interesting.
Yeah, two sucky team, or two.
Giants are 6.5-point favorites. The Panthers are at home. How have the Giants been recently?
Give me the Giants. That defense leads this league in sacks right now.
Mm.
Yeah, and they're starting. They're starting to have playmakers. They're starting to. I mean, that offense still sucks. It's still last in the league, but they do have actual playmakers that are decent. They hung in there against Pittsburgh and the Commanders last 2 weeks. They got shellacked by the Eagles the week before, but they did hang in there against Cincy too. So that's 4 quality teams they played. If you call the Bengals quality, I do. And they hung in there in 3 of the 4.
The Bengals are probably the best 4-6 team I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get into the AFC in a minute. That's going to be fun. They just, and they have Hendrickson, so they've got a pass rusher. They just don't have the rest of a defense. And Chase Brown is solid, but he's not a Joe Mixon, so they're missing that.
Yep.
That's what's hurting them. All right. So we're going Giants.
Okay. I'm going to actually take Carolina on that one.
All right. Good.
Hey, this is the NFL.
Hey, I'm at
never know, man.
I'm at 4 straight weeks of double-digit wins, Phil. So I love it, man. There you go, buddy. All right. Okay, so we took the Bears. We're taking the Bills. Yep. I took the Broncos. You took the Chiefs.
Yep.
We're all going Atlanta.
Yep.
Did we even talk about that game yet? Yeah, we did, right?
Yeah,
we did that one.
Why didn't I write it down? I don't know why I didn't write it down. Okay, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Okay, 49ers, Bucks.
Yep. I was leaning Niners.
I'm leaning Niners.
The 49ers are 6.5-point favorites in Tampa. 88% of the bets at BetMGM are on the 49ers. 74% of the money.
Wow.
Christian McCaffrey's coming back, I think, this week.
That's exactly what my hinged on.
But the Bucks question is McMillan's questionable. Is Mike Evans playing?
I don't think so. He is. He's pretty banged up, and I know Godwin is out.
Yep. Yeah.
They still hung with the Chiefs, guys.
I know.
I mean, Cade Otto is a man amongst boys. That's all I can say.
Dude,
I think
I don't know what to make of this Bucks team. They've lost 4 to 5, but all of them except for the Ravens game were 1-score games. They played Atlanta, lost by 6 and 5. They lost by the Chiefs in overtime. They lost the Ravens by 10. They hung 51 on the Saints.
Right.
49ers have gone win, loss, win, loss, win.
Time to go on that winning streak.
Yep.
That's freaking tough. I guess I'll go San Fran, but I don't feel great about that. I think Tampa could win that one.
But do you want to split on that one?
No.
See? Okay.
This is probably the game of the week. Game A. This is the second best one. Would be Pittsburgh, Washington.
Oh, yeah. I'm leaning Pittsburgh.
I was too, but you know what? I like that Marshawn Lattimore pick. I'm going to go Washington, actually.
You're going to go Washington? Okay.
In Washington. I think they're going to take them out.
Okay. I am actually going Steelers.
Okay.
Damn it. What? No, I'm not listening to you on this one.
Well, you should, though.
I am. I'm going with Med Steelers, see?
So here's
that defense.
Let me put it this exactly.
Okay, that defense is actually it's 4th in rushing, but it's 20th in passing.
That's because everyone's playing from behind on them.
Yep.
Not every. Well, yeah, they've won 3 in a row. Damn it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they played the Giants, the Jets, and the Raiders. The Commanders have hung. They lost the Ravens by only 7. They beat the Browns. I think the Ravens are a better team than the Steelers, and they hung with them. They hung a 40-burger on the Panthers. They barely edged the Bears. That was a tough one. And they did just barely edge the Giants. That's a little concerning, but they are continuing to win games. Give me Washington.
Okay.
All right.
I think they can win this game.
Okay.
It's in Washington, so I feel good about it. Med's like, you're No.
Nope. But okay.
Do you
All right,
think?
we got the Jets and the Cardinals. That's interesting. The Jets are getting man. Why is Vegas respecting the Jets? They're 1.5-point favorites, freaking in Arizona. Does everyone think they're going to turn a corner because they won one game? Was that what we're doing here? For real? Is that what Vegas is? Because they beat the Texans with nobody, with me out there as a receiver. Like, come on, what are they doing? I'm thinking Cardinals here, man. They've actually feel like they've turned a corner. They beat the Bears up good. They barely edged the Dolphins, but they beat the Chargers. And they beat the 49ers. They lost to us bad, but they've won 4-5.
See, I love
this one, man.
The thing I love about you, Isaac, you're so logical. You break down there's no logic in these games anymore. I'm going Jets just because the Jets. I mean, sorry, but
I gotta hear Med's take. Med, what do you think?
I'm actually going Jets.
Yes.
It's the reason why is because the defense is just so.
They suck.
Their defense is so good. That defense has won me games in fantasy, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to sit there, sip the Kool-Aid, and he's going to zip some passes to Devontae Adams. They're going to they're going to eat cheese curds. About the good old days, and Kyler Murray's going to be sitting there thinking, "Why did we invest in Marvin Harrison? Because he has been sucking the last couple of weeks."
Yeah, I know. I have him in 3 leagues in fantasy. Isn't that a winner? That's a winner for you right there. He's getting goose eggs, like 1 point. Thank you. All right, fine. You guys talk me into this one. I'll go Jets.
No, don't switch.
Take your Cardinals.
No, take your Cardinals.
I don't want them.
I don't want to hear anything.
I'm looking at the stats. Right. I don't want them. I'm good.
Really? All right, I'm going to erase it now. All right.
Here's why.
Brees Hall is going to bust it out for 200 yards rushing.
Yeah.
In the receiving and 6 touchdowns. Boom.
The Cardinals can't throw the ball. They can run, and that's the Jets' weakness. But I think they're just going to stack the box and make Kyler Murray beat them, and they're just going to throw sauce on Marvin Harrison. And then what is he going to have left to do? Throw to Trey McBride? I don't know. The more I looked at the stats, and the Jets can get pressure, and I know somebody said the Cardinals are the 3rd best team in the NFC, but yeah, I got to see them win another quality game. So
that would be Mr. Facebook. No, it wasn't him.
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else.
Mm.
Okay, let's see the week to last. Dolphins, Rams. The Dolphins are kind of a frisky team, but I'm still thinking Rams. What do you guys think?
You're going Ram. I'm going to take Dolphins. Again, like I said, no rhyme or reason. It's just every time I pick a team that I think should win, doesn't win, so I'm going to go opposite.
No, Bill, I know what it is. I've had a rough few weeks, and you need me to feel good about myself, so I have to win in the picks every week while you win in fantasy. I know what it is.
Exactly.
You pick a few games, so I get 11 or 12 or 10, and you get like set. I get it. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
That's very nice.
That is very nice. Matt, you're going Rams, right?
I am going Rams because Captain Concussion, something's going to happen to them.
I cannot believe we're actually in an hour and a half. We're going to finish all of our segments. We did pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Game of the week. I actually think the Lions take this pretty decisively. What do you guys think?
I agree.
I think the Lions take this by 10, 15.
The line is 3.5. It isn't the corpse of Tank Dell out there. Isn't that the only receiver they have?
No, they still got they got Stephon Diggs still, right?
Yeah.
No, he's up for the year.
Yeah.
Really?
ACL.
Oh shit.
No. Wow.
That's like, oh man. So Nico's questionable, but he's coming off IR, and Tank Dell's questionable, so they're left with Noah Brown at receiver if those two guys don't play.
That's okay. Yeah, that's
scary, man. And Will Anderson's out.
Wow. Okay.
That's a blow, dude. And for I can't say the guy's name. For Tukasi is questionable. Pierce is out. They do have Joe Mixon, thank God for them. But Okudah at corner, one of their pickups, is questionable. Jerry Hughes is questionable. Mario Edwards is banged up. They have injuries everywhere. The Lions, pretty much, it's just Darius Smith, but it's personal. He might play. They don't have another. Oh, they have one of their offensive tackles out. That's it. The rest of the team's intact. I didn't say the Cardinals are the best. Somebody in a comment earlier said that they were the third best, and I said, no way. That's what I was saying.
Best behind Detroit, dude. No.
No.
I'm going Lions. Absolutely.
Okay.
How is Jason going Texans?
What?
Come on, Jason.
Really?
I mean, it's
Okay.
in Houston. The Lions are only 3.5-point favorites.
Hey, he picked the Dolphins too.
I mean, well,
Check this out.
did.
This is one of the
It's a
biggest
good
spreads I've ever seen. On BetMGM, 99% of the money is on the Lions.
Wow.
99. And
Wow.
95% of the bets are on Detroit. And only a 3.5-point spread. I'm surprised Vegas hasn't thrown this to like 6 by the Lions.
Dude. I mean, when you see that kind of,
That's
you
kind
know, ooh, that's a red flag right there, man. Ding, ding, ding. Texans might win this one. Because that's, I'm sorry. I don't want to bring theory into it, but some of these games, a lot of big money. Let's just put it this way. There's a lot of money out there. I'll just put it that way.
Yes, there is. Sorry, Matt, I interrupted there. That was.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I still think it's the Lions. I mean, I understand the conspiracy theory.
Mhm.
As soon as gambling happened, and NFL was like, "Yeah, you could do it." It's just been crazy since. So,
Yep.
He's right, but I think this Texan team needs Nico Collins at 100% to have a chance.
and you're right. Anyone can get beat on any given Sunday, especially
Really don't do logic thinking. You can't think logic in football. You're right.
Hey, by the way, I had a guy from Packers Without Borders who was a really cool show. One of the guys on there reach out, and we had another guy reach out who wants to come on either one of our shows soon. Bill and Med, Bill Med knows who it is. It's Mike Essen.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. And JB's back on Twitter. Med.
Yeah, no, he's been hitting me up lately.
Yeah, we're gonna bring him on in the off season. That's gonna be fun.
What's up?
Okay. All right, let's do this AFC, and then I've got one last thing for you guys.
He really loved my Dan Marino is overrated take.
Oh, I'm sure he absolutely loved that. What did he say? I didn't catch what he said.
I'll talk to y'all about that later.
Okay.
JB is the man. Shout out to Binge. You know, I got a new idea for us. Before we do this, let's give a shout out. Give a shout out to one of your favorite podcasters. Let's do this. I think this is a good idea. So what's other than Binge? People go check out Back It Up Binge. I'll try to. My computer's on the fritz. But I'll try to put it in the comments in a second. But on YouTube, it's Back It Up Binge. He's over 1,000 on YouTube now. He's doing awesome.
Really?
He puts out some of the best content I've seen. That would be one of my shout outs. Cowboy Reg would be my other one. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Bill, who's one of your favorite guests who came on?
Oh, I'm trying to remember his what was his name from the Packer TV.
Yeah, Matt. Well, Nick and Matt.
Nick and Matt. Yeah. I like both of those guys a lot. That was good. I like that a lot.
Ralph was cool. He wants to come back on. He was fun too.
Good. Okay.
Matt, what you got?
Well, I mean, I'd like working with a lot of people, but right now, Vegas Bench Warmers is actually one of my favorite guys to talk to.
Yes, he is. We got to get about that.
And Jones is just amazing. Jones and for Sports. Pensman over here is active on the thing, so I won't go ahead and say Pensman Sports as well.
Pensman Sports, go check him out.
Okay.
Pensman Sports. I've been talking to him. Very cool. It's funny. I'm at 619, so that's ironic. That's your number.
And Mike Essen, he seems like he's just new and everything. And also my buddy Coach DeMurph. He's
we got a new guy for the other show.
Cool.
We're gonna be trying. We're in the works, but he wants to start a show, and if we restart Podcast Boys, when we restart it, but we'd like to not necessarily a show on there, but we want to have him come on. I know. We want to have him. We want to have him come on our show and see how he's doing.
Well, he's doing great. I could tell you that. I'd just walk over to his house and be like, "Hey, Dave, how you doing?"
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up?
Bro?
That's hilarious.
Right. Okay, AFC team.
AFC, yep.
I'll go last on this one. Who is number one? I mean, I think it's the Chiefs, but what do you think, man?
AFC?
Yeah. Playoff predictions.
I think that they're going to actually slip up a little bit.
Ooh.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Friday night stuff right there.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead and taste the aroma.
Freaky Friday.
I think that the Baltimore Ravens are actually going to take over the 1 seed.
I like that, and that's crazy. I like that because they are currently a wild card, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to actually see that.
They're the number 5 seed right now. Isn't that nuts? The Steelers are 6-2 and they're 7-3. So yeah. Bill, who do you got? I know you wrote these down. Who do you got number 1?
I wrote them down. I have them at a final record of 14-3.
Mm-hmm.
It would be KC.
I like it. I'm going to go KC. I think they're going to be 15-2. I'd have to look at their schedule, but I think they'll win. They'll lose 2 games. All right, I've got the number 2. I just don't see anybody stealing from them. I like the Texans, but they've got too many injuries. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be the number 2 seed. I think there's a good chance they go like 14-3 here. They've got the AFC East locked up. Oh yeah, you're right. The Steelers are 7-2. My bad. No, are they? What?
Yeah, they're 6-2.
No, they're 6-2. I got Yahoo Sports up right here.
Yeah,
they haven't played their next game yet.
Right.
They have their bye week this week.
Right.
Yeah. No.
They play Washington. They play Washington.
They had their bye week last week.
Right.
No worries, man. Whoever that is, I don't know why the privacy's been so weird. Anyways, it's been weird tonight. Anyways, okay. So I've got the Buffalo Bills at the number 2 seed. Bill, who do you got?
Same. Buffalo Bills with 13-4 record.
Gotcha. I like that. Med, what you got?
I'm actually going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs here.
Okay. How many wins do you think they're going to get?
I think they're going to be around 13-14. Last year they struggled a little bit, and I think D-Hop is going to be a really good addition right there. But they're not dominating like they used to. And Travis Kelce's getting a little bit older. He's not having the year that he normally has. I mean, yeah, he blew up this past week, but I mean, Taylor's just sucking the talent out of him. I don't know, but
yeah,
it's with kisses, folks. With kisses.
I didn't read anything into that one.
Sorry, Peter. My family's getting ready to play Call of Duty after this. We're gonna go win some games. He was talking about after the Steelers, because I chose the Commanders. He thinks the Steelers are gonna win. Clearly, so. Okay, Matt, who's your 3 seed?
The Bills.
Okay,
I like it.
But do you love it?
Yeah.
No, because I got another team there.
It's funny.
Well,
I flip flop. I have Pittsburgh at number 3, so we just flip flop.
I got the Ravens. I think they're going to steal the AFC North. I trust them more than Pittsburgh. I think they're going to figure it out. I really do. I think that the Ravens are going to be the biggest challenger to the Chiefs in the AFC because I don't think Houston's ready. I don't know about the Steelers' offense, even though they got Russ, and the Bills haven't done it, so I don't trust them. So, and the Bengals, unfortunately, need to go on a massive climb just to make the playoffs. So, yeah. Okay, 4 seed. I mean, it's got to be the Texans. They're going to steal that AFC South with ease, unless they just can't field a team at this point. So, yeah, they're going to win the AFC South. I got them at 4. Bill, who do you got?
Texans at 11-6.
All right, I like it. That's pretty good. Med, what you think?
Texans.
I like it. I got one last question I'll ask y'all after this. Okay, who's going to be the number 1 wild card, the 5 seed? Who do you think?
For me, it's going to be the Steelers.
Okay. I have Baltimore.
I've got the Steelers as well because I think they're going to fall just short of the Ravens, but I could see them easily winning 11 games. I just think the Ravens are going to go on a roll and only lose like 1 or 2 more. So I got the Steelers, and then I'm going to go Chargers. I think that they're that good. I really do. I've got the Chargers at the 6 seed. I think they're going to win like 10, 11 games. Yeah.
Okay. They're there, but I have Broncos sitting at the 6 seed.
Nice.
10-7.
I'm going back and forth on that too right now in my brain. But I think that I know that Justin Herbert is just he's there as far as the quarterback goes. I know some people feel he's overrated, but I think the Chargers going to get that 6 seed.
Okay.
Who gets the 7 seed and who doesn't make it? Med.
So we kind of talked a little bit about it, just real quick. It's going to be between Cincinnati and Denver in my eyes. I kind of want to go in Denver's direction, but for some reason, I feel like if Joe Burrow was not on a team that was 4-6 right now, he would be in the MVP discussion. I think that Cincinnati, he would be. And Cincinnati, in my opinion, I think will be that 7 seed.
They got some easy games. They play Dallas, Tennessee, Cleveland. They get Denver. They have Pittsburgh twice and the Chargers. So there's some hard ones on there. If they can win a couple of those hard ones, they're a pretty unbalanced team, unfortunately. They can sling the ball, but they can't really run it or do much on defense other than Hendrickson. So they're going to have to figure it out. That's where I was at, too. Bill, who do you think makes the 7?
Like what Med said, I like Cincinnati, but, it is tough, but I'm thinking the Chargers squeak out the 7th spot. At a 10-7, they tie the Broncos at 10-7, but the Broncos get the tie break, so they fall to the 7th seed.
And Bill, I've got a question I got to ask you about next week's show. I'm just going to do it on the air, or maybe after. Okay, I'm going to go.
What are you going to go?
I want to go Denver. I'm like Med here. I really want to go Denver. I think they're a more complete team. But my heart's telling me to take the Bengals. I think they're going to find a way to get to 10 wins and get that last. I don't know. They're pretty much going to have to go 6-1. 9-8 might make it in the AFC though. I know there's 2 to 5 wins, but 9-8 might be the 7th seed. And if they get to 9, they got a shot.
Well, they would be 5-5 probably right now if they didn't decide to go for 2 points on the last play of the game.
Yep,
exactly. That was a bummer. That really hurt them because going to 4-6 is a tough spot to climb yourself out of. Now they have to do it. So speaking of MVP, that's my last question for you guys. Right now, who should be MVP?
I'll go first. I got to go with my boy that's killing in fantasy. I got to go Derrick Henry. The guy's just still doing it.
I agree.
Week in and week out. He's consistent. And the Ravens wouldn't be the Ravens if they didn't have that run game. Yeah, they got a okay defense and all that, but you take that run game away, that limits Jackson and the whole company there. So I'll say Henry.
I like that. Matt, what you think?
So I actually posted this question not too long ago on Twitter, and I had Jared Goff, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson as the 4 that I thought would be up there. This past game, because he only threw for like 85 yards, but he had 3 touchdowns. Jared Goff, to me, he has a chance, but you look at the stats that Lamar Jackson has right now, and yes, I agree with Bill. It's all because of Derrick Henry, because they have to focus on the run game. But Lamar Jackson, I think, will be getting a 3rd MVP this year.
I think it's going to be Lamar. I don't know if it should be, but I think it's going to be Lamar. But I got one for you guys. If the Lions finish 16-1, how about Jared Goff would be a fun one. He would, but he's just not doing enough, so he's not gonna. So I'll give a realistic one. I think it's either Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. I would love to see a non-quarterback get it, and it should be Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley. It should. But it doesn't need to be a quarterback every single year. But Lamar Jackson, Med nailed it. He has better stats than he did when he won it. So it's kind of like when Michael Jordan, like people just got voter fatigue and then didn't. And I get it because I'm tired of him winning it, but he has been that good. I would give it to Derrick Henry if I had a choice, though. So that'd be my pick. My family has texted me to go play Call of Duty. But before we do that, and this has been a blast, we've almost broken records. I'm sorry, it's my dad's birthday, so I'm not doing an after space, but I will be doing a spaces soon. It's been a long time, so I'll do one soon for you guys. But thank you to the over 300 people that watched. We've got some fun stuff coming up.
Thank you.
On Tuesday's show, we've got, I don't know if you saw it, Med, but it looks like Detroit Sports Podcast wants to join.
Cool.
We've got Shelby Tweeten, I think is how you say it, Vikings fan. Yeah. And we've got Andy from NFL Outdated joining us for an NFC North panel Tuesday evening. I'm very excited. That's going to be fun. Bill, next week, I think since the Packers are playing the Bears, I think we should get a Packer Bear panel. What do you think?
Absolutely. That's, beautiful.
Yeah.
Come
So
on.
I'm thinking we bring Med back.
Absolutely.
If he's free, and we bring Says Me if he's free, or Bears Country Podcast. So whichever one of y'all is available. I'm pitching it on the air. So let's do it.
As a friendly wager, if the Packers win, Med wears a cheese head. And if
Wait, hold on. Hear the whole wager. Let's hear the whole wager. What do we got?
and then if the Bears win, we have to do whatever Med wants.
Which would be where
a cheese grater? No.
Where a cheese grater.
What would be the equivalent of a cheese head, Med? It's pretty painful. Get a pair of shoes.
Well, I mean, after the
where
cheese head came on, they started making like the little foam hats. That was the cheese graters.
Yep, the cheese graters. Yeah,
you want to see a cheese grater?
That would be funny.
You know, I don't. Oof. That'd be
bear
like
shirt. Do I gotta buy a bear shirt and wear it?
Oh,
no, you don't have to buy a bear shirt because I know that you're going to use it for toilet paper later. I mean,
you know me.
We'll have to talk about that.
I like this wager. This is fun. We need to do this. Back on next week.
I don't know if I could get a cheese head down here, but if I'll wear like a block of cheese on my head for one of y'all shows.
Okay. And then for the Bears,
take a cheese. Y'all just get like a Beanie Baby or something and just throw it on top of your head for the whole show. It'll look ridiculous. I think that's the best way to go with it. I'll get a block of cheese, and I mean, I got like 4 blocks down there with no problem, and you know, I'm broke. So.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, Ned, remind people where they can find your show. What you got coming up?
Well, you can find me with Izac every Tuesday,
except for this week. Except for this week.
This past week, no. But next week, Tuesday, 7:30, 8 o'clock, because it looks like we're going to have to move it back a little bit.
What's the name of our show now?
Oh, are you talking about the Cheesy Bear Pod?
I told Lynn, and she was like, "You're not naming it that, are you?" I was like, "Of course we are."
It's a sexy name. What are you talking about?
Cheesy Bear.
The Cheesy Bear. Got a logo and everything. In fact, our buddy Jason, we're going to be talking to him about it later. That is Mr. Facebook user right there. But then you can also find me every Thursday on Shady Sports Network. There's the sponsor drop. 7:15 p.m. right before the game. We stop at 8:15 so we could go watch it.
Yes. And then we'll be back next Friday. Probably at 7 Eastern, but I kind of like the 8 Eastern or the 9 Eastern slot. This was kind of fun. I don't really mind because I don't work the next day, so no big deal. We'll be talking the Packer-Bear game, obviously. We'll be recapping all these picks. We'll give you a full – it's already been an hour and a half, so we'll recap how we're doing on the season. I've been, I think, 4 straight weeks at 10+. Bill's starting to do pretty good. We're still way behind our pick'em, way behind. But thanks for nothing, Med.
No problem.
People, this wasn't a record breaker. It was close, though. It was second best. So not quite. We needed a lot more, unfortunately. But this was one of our high shows. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Because I missed talking football. We didn't really get – it was a great show Wednesday, but we didn't really get to do it. So I will be back on. I'll be gone the week of Thanksgiving. May take a week off, but I'm going to try to do a show. And otherwise, I think we're just going to keep going until, the Packers win the Super Bowl. So, not this year. I'm just kidding. They ain't winning this year.
Yeah.
But I wish.
It's Peter. No, you dude, Peter. It's saying Facebook user.
It's doing the same thing for him.
It's
so it's user for both of them.
Sorry.
And I don't know if it's. Oh, wait. It's
you
me.
have some.
It's me. It's a setting on my end. It's me. Hold on. Let me fix it. I think it's me, actually. Dang it. I forgot to change a setting on my computer because it's been turning off.
Fail.
Yeah, I know. Hashtag
Fail.
Let me just, if I change the setting really quick, I'm going to test it here.
Being a Packers fan.
Nicely played. Hold on.
One of the things that I'm going to start incorporating in Blitz or now the Cheese Bear Pod, and I want maybe Izac wants to do it, and behest of that, I say that you shout your slogan, which would be like bear down for me. And
I like that. I think I like that. I like the
off.
I like the thing I came up with on the air. The podcast, the podcaster shout out, whatever. We're going to have to come up with a better name than that. That was terrible. But I think shouting out other people is out is a good idea too. So we're going to say "Go Pack, Go," and we own the Bears. That's our slogan.
There you go. I like that. There you go.
Well,
Go
I'm going to
Pack, go.
say bear down. It's about to stop the end.
Okay, now guys, leave another comment. I changed the setting. Leave more comments and see if it works. Jason and Peter, leave a comment. I think it's me. I forgot to change one setting. It might have been me. No, it's still
it's
them.
still saying
What the heck?
Go ahead, Rob Gold, don't you?
bear down. Robbie Gold
Robbie
wins.
Gold owns nothing, unfortunately.
Owns you. Wow.
Nothing. He owns not. I mean, he owns a house. I don't, but yeah, there you go.
Y'all played what, the 49ers in 2 weeks?
Yeah, and I'm going to be in Arizona for that one. And I've got a fun idea. I'm going to talk about
we
that.
played.
Ours
Yeah.
is.
So,
Week,
but anyways, guys,
week
this was
12.
fun.
Yeah.
This was fun. Check out Med on Shots on the Sideline. Go check out all the creators we had. Pensman Sports, thanks for watching. Chelsea in the comments. Jason, Peter, everybody in the comments. The 320 people watching, you rock. Bill, thanks for your time. You rock, dude. Great. This was fun. I like the segments. We should do more of this. This was cool. Hopefully our picks go well. Hopefully the Bears win, Med, for you. Not next week, but get a win this week. You need it. And then and please go subscribe to Shots on the Sideline. Please go subscribe to Fun Football. I want to get to 1,000. Go subscribe there. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, wow. That's a good comment. Packers are about to be 11-0 against the Bears. We
I
own
know
you.
who that is.
Wow.
Okay.
Shout out to
Is that
Facebook
Jason or is that
user
Peter?
for all the comments he's been saying.
I'll message both of you because I can't tell which one of you it is. I think it's Peter, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I think it's Peter because they wanted me to go on the show. I think that's
Second
what
one, yes.
Ah.
The first one,
yeah, that sounds like Peter based on the way it was written. And it wasn't talking about the Bears, so I think it was Peter.
That's how we know it's Jason.
Yeah, it was Peter.
It was Peter, yeah.
Oh, see, you know what's funny is on my computer it shows, but I don't know what it's doing on here. Anyways, please go like and subscribe. I'm on TikTok. Had some viral videos. If you want to go watch some amusing stuff, go watch me last Sunday, 2 hours before the Packer Lion game, and how excited I was thinking that we would win. All daylight in the car, wearing my Packer gear, and then watch the after video in the darkness with my hair disheveled and how sad I was. People on TikTok got a super kick out of that, so go check it out.
I didn't know you could get smoked in the rain.
Yeah, right. Yeah. At home.
Well played. But all right, guys, thank you so much. I will be back next Friday, and I'll be on with all those awesome guests on Tuesday. We'll have a Packer Bear panel for you guys next Friday, and now named Cheesy Bear on Tuesday. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you.
Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.
I'm a game changer.